Hello YouTube, I'm APC, and this is another quick tips video. These videos can be applied in pretty much any programming language. The goal is to help you write more concise code and also usually more easy to read code. So today we're talking about some breaking statements, I guess. So let's say we have this scenario. We have some code, and in addition to that we have some tons and tons of bunches of stuff and like a lot of extra code in here. So you probably have this a lot. You just have an event with a ton of code in here, and then you realize, oh wait, I don't want to do any of this if the game is paused. So you just make a quick if statement. So if paused, and then you select everything and tab it out and end it, right? So that way, if not paused. So that way all this will only execute only if the game is not paused. Well, I find always frustrating, because then I have to tab everything out, and it just makes the whole thing seem a lot bigger, a little more complicated, even though I only have one little condition right here. So let me show you a different way where you could do this. I'll just go through the whole thing again. Alright, let me show you a different way you can do this. Before we do any of our code in here, I'm going to say if paused, and then I'm going to say exit. So if it's paused, it's going to exit this event and not do anything else. I guess I kind of lied in the beginning. Exit is actually a GameMaker specific thing, but we're going to talk about two more things which are not GameMaker specific. But let me just go ahead and show you how this works. So I've set up pause to toggle when I press space. At start, pause is equal to false, and at start I also did not add the object to the room. So at start, pause equal to false. I press space, pause equal to true. So it exits that event before I do that movement code or any of the other code we have in there. Press pause equal to false again, and it's moving. So that's just a handy little thing. So you don't have to have an if statement and tab everything out every single time. Looks nicer this way, in my opinion. Alright, zapping over the next example. So this scenario I actually used in a programming competition recently. The way the programming competition worked was you have a Minesweeper field. So in this case we have a 10 by 10 array, and those represent all the blocks in the Minesweeper field. So for each block we have to calculate the number we should have there, because in Minesweeper the number on each block represents how many mines are adjacent to that block. But there's an issue here. I can't just go through each block and calculate the number, because if there's a mine on there, we don't want to calculate the number. So it's kind of the same idea as just now. We would say, before we calculate the number, we would say if not mine, then do that, right? We just make an if statement around it. So this could be a really big algorithm right here, right? And then we have to add like another layer of indentation complexity, I guess, by having a whole if statement. Well, just like with events, there's a similar thing with loops. So instead of putting an if statement, I could type, oh, I messed something up there. I could type if mine continue. Now continue, exit breaks out the entire event, but continue just skips this iteration of the loop. So by hitting continue, it'll just jump straight up here and do J++ and continue on with the loop. So continue, that's the next one we talked about. That's the next one we're talking about today. And this one can be used in pretty much any language. Now for the third and final little keyword. So in this example, I'm going to have it, this is the example specific to GameMaker, but the idea isn't specific to GameMaker. So in GameMaker, you have a lot of times where you're metering a platform and you're moving something down pixel by pixel until it hits the ground. So we want to add a little thing to where this loop stops when it hits the ground, because right now it's an infinite loop. So I would say if place meeting x, y, floor, whatever. So once we've hit the ground, then we're going to say break. And what break does is it ends the loop. So break is the third one, it just downright ends the loop. And by the way, what I just put down here would be the same thing as if I had just put this in here. Just so you guys don't get confused, there's nothing really too different about doing it this way. Some people like it just logically to use a break here. I sometimes like to do it this way because it just makes more sense. Just make it end whenever, especially when it's not, I don't know the ending point ahead of time. And another case when you might use this is maybe you have a main reason to break it, but maybe there's some other more minor edge cases, I guess, in which case you want to break, so you can have like a main logical reason for ending it, and then you can have some other ways to end it in here, and that's using the break. So that's the third one. These are, I guess, breaking statements. So we've talked about exit, which exits out of event, ends an event. That's only relevant to GameMaker. We talked about continue, which will end an iteration of loop and continue with the next iteration of loop. And then we talked about break, which breaks out of a loop, will end a loop. And actually, while I'm at it, I might as well add another example. What if you are in a situation like this? And you want to break. What does that do? Well, that would actually break out of this loop. But if you're in Java, you can actually name loops. So I can say like that. I can say inner, and that's calling this loop. Or actually, I should put outer would probably be a better name. So that I'm naming this outer loop outer, and then if I type down break outer, it'll actually break out of this loop right here. So by naming loops, you can choose which one to break out of, and that's a special Java trick. Okay, now that's all for this video. I thank you all for watching. I hope you found it helpful. Please let me know what you thought so I can continue to improve my videos, and I hope to see you next time.